Destiny.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So he's going to be my co-surgeon for this surgery.
Let's get in the room.
So we want to change your philosophy of wealth. We want to change how you have perceived wealth, what you think wealth is all about. You see, I always tend to say this, that there are two ways to define a thing. There is the statutory definition of defining a thing, meaning the generally accepted definition to a thing. Let me put it this way. If I get a pen, or if a child who's born today, and the child sees that I use a pen to hit another child on the head, do you know that that child will live continuously the rest of his life or her life seeing that pen as a weapon? Not because that is the actual purpose of the pen, but because that is the first usage, the first means that pen was used in the eyes of that child. And that child will forever in his life believe that that pen is a weapon. That is how philosophy affects individuals. So meaning if you are coded with the wrong philosophy of wealth, no matter how hard you try everything to change your financial status or thermostat, you can't achieve that. So we want to use this section to expose to you that abundance is not something you achieve, it's something you tune into. The same way an individual can have 30 million naira and still not be a millionaire. It's very possible. You can have 30 million naira in your account and still not be a millionaire. There is a difference between ownership and possession. You can possess something and that is not who you are. Because being a millionaire is you becoming that person. So you can possess it and not be that person. So what we want to do tonight is to restructure the neurons in your brain, restructure your philosophy, your perception of what wealth is, and transform that thinking entirely. And I'm here with my co-surgeon who is going to be doing justice to that. I am here to diagnose you. I'm here to diagnose you. I'm here to show you why you need to get your mind re-engineered towards words. I'm here to just expose to you that you may have millions in your account, but you may not have a millionaire mindset. You see, if you create millions today, and tomorrow you cannot create that millions again, something is wrong. It means that you probably achieved that by luck. Because I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, guys. If you attain millions today and tomorrow you are broke, something is wrong. Because the same principle you used before should be reliable. It's still available for tomorrow. But what is clear there is that there is a philosophy, the battlefield of the mind, your perception that is crippling everything you think you know. So on this, I want to expose to you how to know you are subconsciously coded for scarcity. That is what my 5-10 minutes diagnosis and test investigation. I want to prove to you that it is possible to be subconsciously coded for scarcity. You don't know, but it's just there. So by the time I run that diagnosis, my fellow surgeon here is going to open the brain and work. I just pray you enjoy this section, and I beseech you to really pay attention, because knowledge is not in the acquisition but in the application. So it's not just about being here right now. If you do not apply everything that will be elucidated here, I can tell you this, that your head will just be a load to your neck. You can have too much information without application. It's nothing. So everything that you are going to get here, I guarantee you, what we're about to share here today is something that tremendously changed my life. It's not something that we are speaking it's not something we are speaking from knowledge. It's from experience. Experience cannot be bought. So I really want you to pay close attention to everything we'll be doing here this evening. Is going to create a paradigm shift in your life. Now, like I said, our diagnosis is how to know that you are subconsciously coded for scarcity. You see, you may not know, but your programming keeps attracting scarcity to you, keeps attracting lack to you. I call it the loop of karmic poverty. You're just living a loop of karmic poverty. There's something called financial thermostat. Some of our electronics do have thermostat. Our boiling water, meaning when it gets to a certain degree Celsius, it goes over itself. Meaning that electronic has been programmed not to cross a certain degree Celsius. So when I say financial thermostat, I mean that there is a financial Rubicon you cannot cross. And that is only done by your paradigm, your programming. It's as simple as that. So all electronics, some of us we have that. Even our ions do sometimes. I think the modern ion we have, right? They do have thermostat. Meaning if it gets to a certain heat level, it will trip off. And then it starts waxing cold and it picks up again. For safety reasons. But I'm telling you, it is needed to increase your financial thermostats. I don't know what it is right now, but there is room for increment. There's room for expansion, and there's room for things. Now, let me show you how. Let's go into the real business now. Let me show you how let me expose to you how it is possible to be subconsciously coded for scarcity. Number one is by romanticizing poverty. Romancing poverty, yes. There are people who believe that being poor is good, that it is better if being poor is good and being wealthy is corrupt. There are people with such mentality. There are people who see wealthy people as people. When you see people who are wealthy, if the first thing that lubos and transmogrify to your mind is that they are probably doing something illegal, you are subconsciously coded for scarcity. That's the truth. When you see a young guy driving a car that you so much desire, for you to tune into the frequency, the first thing that lubos to your mind is that for him to achieve this, he is probably doing something illegal. If that is the first thing that lubos and transmogrify to your mind, I am here to tell you that you are romanticizing poverty. And in so doing, that mentality is subconsciously coding you towards poverty because you cannot attract what you attack. So people have to come to the realization that these are some things we do we don't even know. You see, when you think you must suffer to enjoy good things, you are romanticizing poverty. You think you have to suffer. These are some things that growing up, they were the norm to us. Our parents told us these things. These were things that we believe this is the way to live. You believe if you don't bleed for it, it's not yours to enjoy. You believe you have to bleed. You see, some couple of years ago, something dawned on me, and I was not just speaking based on affirmation. I was telling my brother Obed, I said, Obed, listen, do you know that it is more difficult to be poor? I mean, being poor takes a lot of hard work. To maintain poverty is a lot of work. It takes more effort to remain poor than to escape it. Absolutely. Because if I ask people right now, see, this is the way I have chosen to arrange my philosophy. I don't know what has coded you, but the way I have chosen to rewrite my philosophy is that I don't believe anymore that money is hard-earned. It's easy-earned for me. These are some psychological things I have fine-tuned into my subconscious mind that has become my reality. Because your subconscious mind perpetually becomes your reality. What you receive into your subconscious over time will start imprinting itself into our life. So these are some things that you know. If what I'm saying, you can resonate with it. Just know that you are subconsciously coded for scarcity. If you believe that you have to suffer to enjoy, so these things are going on, you believe that when you see wealthy people, the first thing, even when you are not aware, the first thing that comes to your mind, you see, if you see a big statement is a ritualist, or is doing something illegal, or is this, these are the things that comes first. I'm telling you without missing words that you are subconsciously coded for scarcity. You are moving in the loop of karmic poverty, and in this section we are going to help you. We are going to tell you things to do. Now I'm going to tell you how you got to that point, how it happened, And I will tell you this, it happened within the first 7 years of your life. Your subconscious mind today is as a result of the first 7 years of your life. And I'm going to tell you why that is. When a child is born, within the first 2 years, the child is born with a brainwave called delta brainwave. That delta brainwave, it means it's a deep sleep brainwave. I have a friend, in fact, in his immaculate maturity, when he takes a nap, his nap is in deep sleep. Imagine somebody taking a nap for 5 hours in the afternoon, Mr. Femi. I will not call it. So when a child is born, between the age 1 to 2, the child is in a delta brainwave. That is solely in between the unconscious and subconscious. And then when the child gets to 2 to 5 and to 7, the brainwave increases to theta brainwave. Now that is where the programming happens. That is where all your paradigm was created. That is where the thought of wealth, the philosophy to wealth was implanted inside of you, and you don't know. And now in your immaculate maturity, you are trying to fight that information that has been fed to you between the age 2 to age 7. For instance, just watch this. You know, we live in our black community. Poverty is rampant. We should not hide under any peanut pie here.
Exactly.
Poverty is rampant in our black community. We know this. We know poverty is everywhere, but we know it has a certain degree in our black community. Now, let me share this with you. In a Nigerian home, in an African home, you see the father and the mother arguing, and you hear the father say words like, "You think you think money grows in tree? You think money is everywhere? You think money is easy to get? You think I grow money from the tree?" You see, these are words as children. When you hear them, they become part of you. You not see money that is something hard to acquire. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So growing up in a home where the father and the mother, they are having an argument, and then the father is saying, "Oh, you think I grow money in trees?" And the child is 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, and he hears that. It goes into the subconscious. And I'm telling you, within the age of 2 to 7, the mind receives everything. Everything, you see, the brain doesn't know at that point what is real and what is imagined. That is why you see a child who is 5 years old can pick a long broom, sit on the long broom, and say, "Mommy, I'm riding on a horse." You are the one seeing a broom. But to the child, what that child is actually seeing is what? It's an horse. That guy is riding a horse. So at that point in time, the child cannot tell what he or she is imagining or what is real. So what then is real? Everything that the child receives, including all the wrong philosophy of words. A wise man once said something. He who does not teach his child how to trade has equally taught him how to steal. So wealth education and wealth philosophy is as important as anything that we must do in our society. We must change the thermostat, the brain structure of what people consider as wealth. We need to understand the new loop, the new philosophy to wealth. Now, this, I said, is the first 7 years of your life. And most importantly, there are some things that we cluster, such as environment. Environment can code you into scarcity and you wouldn't know. You can be in a certain environment that no matter how hard you try, being in that environment will whisper poverty to you. And you cannot combat something that is consistent, because your environment is so consistent with you than even the words you pray about, even the things you pray about. So you can speak once every day for 7 days, but your environment is speaking to you continuously for 24 hours. In the law of equality, you cannot combat such. There are some people who are living in a certain environment that contributes and whisper poverty into their subconscious. That's why we advise people to travel. We advise people to be vast, because when you expand your mind to possibility, you have expanded your mind to great opportunity. So not just that, religion, peers. Well, I think because so we can have the read those. But regardless, what I'm saying to us is that it is very, very possible to want something and not have it. Because life does not give you what you desire. It gives you who you are. And you are your mind. And if you want to change you, it's as simple. Change your mind. transform your thinking. If what you used to believe isn't working anymore, change your thoughts. Have a new philosophy. If your previous philosophy is not working, I'm telling you, all you have to do is to change your culture, your philosophy, and everything you think about wealth. Dislodge everything you think about wealth, and I guarantee you that a new approach and the new philosophy to transform the wealth of your life, you're going to get it tonight. Thank you so much. Enjoy. So I'm going to allow our main surgeon for today. I believe your spatulas are, is it not spatulas? What was it called? Huh? Scalpel, yes. Hope is ready. Hope your scalpel. It's not ready. Called knife. It's called, what's it called again? Scalpel, yes.
I'm ready.
Yeah, hope they are ready. Yes, and they all sterilized.
All sterilized.
Do we have oxygen? Anastasia, do we have everything in check?
We are good to go.
So please, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome my brother, my friend, a man of impeccable character, a man whose wisdom is uncommon. You cannot phantom the level of intelligence, the realm he speaks from. So it's a privilege to have him speak to us right now.
Thank you.
I want you to tap and change your life forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a great privilege to be here tonight, and I was asking myself, this is the first time I am in a relaxed state when I speak. So I asked myself, when I came in, I said, chair, sit, lion like me. But I said, because I understand that the month of May is the month that introduces some kind of change into your life that you have to adapt to. So those who join my sessions, they understand that May is the 5th month of the year. And number 5 is the bridge between what and what is to come. Alpha, he who was and is to come. That's what 5 is. That's what the month of May is. So it means that a lot of changes are going to creep into your life. So depending on how grounded you are, how flexible you are, and how ready you are to adapt to those changes, that is what is going to determine how you leverage the change and you make the best of them. So I've done a lot of uncommon things this month, things I'm not used to doing, like sitting down to watch a full Netflix series. All those things that, so I've told people in the community, and I'm going to tell you here, watching us, wherever you are watching from, officially welcome to the session. You have signed up to something that would transmute your destiny to what it is meant to be. So I told them, I said, it is a month of purpose. Be purposeful in May. But guess what? Also, be playful. Because the month of May is the month of your inner child. Listen, all the wealth you are going to command in this incarnate existence, you were born with them. Deep. So for a lot of people, your refusal to embrace your inner child is the reason you are still struggling. Your refusal to play in the rain. When you were young, you wanted to play in the rain. It was joy. Elizabeth told me, she said, the last rain that fell, she and her sisters, they were playing in the rain. And she's 28 years old, her sister is like 30-something. And when she said it, I was like, she doesn't even know the power of what she has done. Because your inner child is your divine center. Your inner child is the seat of your personal sovereignty and autonomy, right? And what society stole from you, what the matrix, what religion, what incompetent, ignorant parenting stripped you of, is your personal sovereignty, which is deeply rooted in your inner child. Your divine center, your seat of kingdom power and glory. Let me borrow from, what the Christians would say. When Jesus was born, the stargazers saw a star. Like, oh, this star is different. This, we have to follow this star. Do you know that it is not exclusive to Jesus, to that story? When you were born, there was a star that shone in the sky. And this is, I'm not trying to get you to hallucinate or think of yourself as some, but it is the fact that when you were born, there was a star that was shown in the sky. And that's why if you go to the deep Eastern African, spirituality, cosmology systems, what they do is when a child is born is the most important part of that child's life. Because what they do in the first 7 days, 21 days of that child determines the rest of the child's future. And that's where a lot of our parents missed it. So what am I saying? The month of May, I'm glad, I was thinking, why did he choose May 8th for this kind of event?
We meticulously deliberate.
Because 8 is the number of material wealth and abundance.
It was...
That's it. There's a level of synchronicity here that we all have to, because let me be honest with you guys. There is so much abundance. There is so much supply of the spirit, of the body, of the mind, of the soul in this earth realm, which is also a spiritual realm, that nobody should live in scarcity. The people in my community and the people who follow me, I had a session with them yesterday. I said, I don't pity the masses. And it sounds very harsh, right? Because sympathizing with the masses will not make them rich. But it can make me poor. Because sympathizing with them simply means you have to interact, rub shoulders. And I want to challenge people that you don't have to be like Dangote. Your purpose and assignment is not to be as rich as Dangote. I hope you know that. The delusion in the minds of many people is, you will be rich like Elon Musk. No. The goal of wealth is freedom. That's the ultimate. The freedom to say to yourself, I feel like I have worked so much, I need to go to the Bahamas in August and spend 1 month. And you can confidently do it. You are a wealthy person. And nothing missing, nothing broken. Not that when you want to go, your wife will slap you or your husband will beat you. So there is this holistic abundance, this frequency of, this fresh frequency of your original essence that you were born with. Because you were not born with sin. Because they lied to you. One of the lies, and a lot of Africans, they are still buying into it, but then I have decided that I am only going to focus on the lions that are sleeping, not the sheep. There is a difference between a lion that is sleeping and a sheep that is awake. Mm-hmm. So I've spent a lot of my years shouting on the sheep that are awake when I can look for the lions that are sleeping. Because if I can just wake 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 lions that are sleeping, come on, man, we're going to cause an uproar. Mm-hmm. But I'm knocking on the door of the sheep. Wake up, wake up. They will never wake up. Matter of fact, in this particular incarnation that they are in, they are meant to sleep till they die. Maybe the next, when they reincarnate, they wake up. Because listen to me, when you start paying attention to what is necessary, you have opened the door to your wealth, to your freedom. That's what you have done. But when you turn yourself, you know why many people are struggling with money and wealth? They put up a messianic nature. I am here to save everybody. I am here. I will save my family. I will save my friends. I'm not saving anybody from anything. I will teach you, but I'm not your savior. The only person I want to save is myself. Because where energy goes, what happens? Power flows. And a lot of times, your energy is going to places that are not, there is no reciprocity. Yesterday we were defining the difference between the elite and the masses. Now, when the elite want to form relationships, they focus on two things. Strategy, right? They are very strategic and they are selective. Two things you must, because this is an integral part of building wealth and maximizing your potential relationship. Selection and strategy. So the rich don't just make friends. They don't just bring people into their inner circle. No. Okay, you think that rich man that is close to you just brought you into his inner circle. You are feeding him with something. But because when poverty has beaten people, they don't even know that they still have some potentials left in them. So they are just, the man likes me so much. He tells me, he sends me on errand. I sit down with him, I talk to him. He is actually harvesting something from you. Because no wealthy, influential, rich person keeps non-entities around them. If you see any non-entity around them, they are errand boys. But if a rich man wants to sit with you at the same table, there's something about you. Because when it comes to building relationships for wealthy people, it's strategy and selection. He selected you. If you work in an organization, there are a lot of people, maybe in any of the platforms that work in organizations. If your boss is closer to you than every other person, he selected you. You think it's by accident? It is poor people and masses that just open the door of their life to anybody. They are not selective, they are not strategic. Because they've preached to them that Jesus went about doing good and he was everybody's friend, and it's a lie. He had a pyramid of relationship.
Of course.
He had the multitude. He had the 70. He had the 12. He had the 3. And he had the 1, John the Beloved.
Yes.
So you see, you have people who are defenders of the faith, yet they know nothing about their Bible. And those of us that they attack and they criticize us, we know better than them. We learn more from that Bible than them. But don't come. Gate of hell shall not prevail. You are a gate of hell. What are you learning from that Bible? You are fooling yourself. Yeah, the pyramid, it was selective. He didn't just say, I want to raise 12 disciples. Hey, everybody come. He didn't say, I will raise 1,000 disciples. 12. And how did he get them? They were fishing. And there was no fish. So guess what? They were pursuing their purpose. Right? They were working. They were at work, not lazing around. And next thing, one person, referral. Then he moved to referral. This person referred to this one, James, the brother of John. Andrew, the brother of this. Yes. Peter, the son of this. So it wasn't by accident, but it is only poor people, the masses. They opened the door of their life just for anybody to enter. They don't control the entries and the exits in their life. One of the symptoms of, if you want to know you are one of the masses, is you don't have control of the entries and the exits into your life. You can't remember the last 10 people that entered your life. And they stripped you of your personal sovereignty. They harvested your energy and they left. You can't even remember.
Energy parasites. Vampires. Energy vampires.
You can't even remember the last whatever you had with anybody you had it with. Mm-hmm. How you felt, you can't remember it. And you're going to have another one tonight and tomorrow. And you can't remember the dynamics of that intercourse. You can't remember it. But I tell you what, the wealthy, because for you to really delve deeper into any dimension, you must study the people who are already in it. So what did I do? I hung around a lot of these people. Power will always attract power. You may not be as rich as them, but when they see that there is a man, and I've told this story several times. He follows me on social media, and then he said he wants to invite me to his house. And he invited me to his house. And he took me around, and I was saying a lot of symbols, archetypes, things that some of you, if you see it, you will run away. just images, and it was casual to me. And he said, all those things you always talk about, me, I have them in real life. And after everything, he says, well, why are you're not moved? I said, I have seen what I have seen in my life. So have you seen how somebody came back home and a python welcomed them and they were feeding the python with eggs? And I was almost pissing in my body. So have you seen that? And he said, no, I have not seen it. How did he know that I have had such experience? Because listen to me, the wealthy, they function by frequency, not by force. They function from essence, not from effort. So when a wealthy, influential man sees you, he knows that there is something about this person that I can tap into. He doesn't need to, it is poor people that will say, you really can't know people. People, they are very terrible. If you meet them today, they are like this today. They are, no, wealthy people are not like that. They know you from day one. That's why he opened his bedroom for you to enter and pick things. There are other people who have been with him for 5 years. He has never told them. He's in my bedroom, but he told you, go to my bedroom. He has seen something in you. Essence. The deep calls onto what? The deep. So we're looking at the mindset for what? The mindset for wealth. Because it's a mindset. We're going to engineer the inner architecture of abundance. Beautiful. Because listen to me, you are the engineer. Nelson Mandela said, I'm the captain of my ship. I'm the leader of my soul. You know what is happening in Africa? A lot of people have been taught and trained that they are meant to give the control of their life to God. Yeah. Whereas, what did God say? In some of the texts and the scriptures that we have read from different dispensations, civilizations, spirituality system, what does it tell you? I want you tonight to cut off from your dogma and doctrines. It's really going to help. I'm going to say some things that will be like an assault to your theology. It is only those who are ready. Because the second law of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result. So, the most ancient scriptures and text tells us that all the resources and the tools that you need to command the life you want is in you. It's not in the sky. Matter of fact, you are the sky. You are the cosmic elements. Whenever, during full moon and all that, I intentionally organize events, affirmations, and I tell them, I'm not doing this so that you can worship the moon. Because many of you move from religion to spiritism. I don't do all those spiritism bull crap where you are worshiping the moon. I don't worship nature. I don't worship the sun. I am the sun, I'm the moon, I'm the star, I'm the fire, I'm the earth. The kingdom of heaven is in me. Haven't you been told that the kingdom of heaven is in you? And if you know this, you will know yourself. Haven't you been told that ye are gods? And all of you are the sons of men. But you will die like charlatans because you don't even know. That's what the scripture says. I am closer to you in Quran. It says, I'm closer to you than your jugular vein. What else is closer to you than your jugular vein, if not God? So you see the difference between the elites and the masses. The elites, they are very strategic about religion. Religion is a tool to the elites. They wield it. But the masses are wielded by religion. Religion uses the masses. The elites use religion. And I have people who tell me, I have a lot of people who tell me, and these are actually very powerful people, they tell me, you are saying too much on social media. Because they don't want you to know these things. Because if you are free, you are free, you are free. The slave master, you remember the Negro, when the white supremacists, when they take the slaves, a man can have 1,000 slaves. One of the slaves will escape. His whole army and soldiers would chase after that one. It's just one that left. Why is that one so important? Every slave is an asset to the slave master. You are a number to a lot of people. You don't know that. You are a number to the establishments and the system. So you see, the elites, what they do with religion is they wield it. It's a tool for them. It is the poor masses that can kill for religion. They are the ones who function with expired brain cells. They are the ones who function from their sentiments and their emotions. The elites are strategic. At the top over there is no religion. It's personal interests.
Of course.
Ronaldo, what's his name? It is haram for anybody to live in a Muslim country who is not married to a woman. They stay in the same house. But he's in Saudi Arabia with his girlfriend. So the same law that applies to the poor, how come it can't apply to Ronaldo? There are exceptions to every rule. Live by the rules, remain broke for life. That's it. I was showing you an alpha, I think in Southwest, that started preaching about all of these things. He said, those who live by the rules, they end up in tears. Nobody's saying go and commit crime. But every rule that you see that exists is for poor people. The moment they start saying, what does the word of God say? A poor man is involved. That's it. The moment you hear, what does the word of God say? A poor man is involved. We want to engineer the inner architecture of abundance. So meaning, guess what we see, when you build a house, you know what happens? You go to a site, which is a land, and they say, we are moving to site tomorrow. It's not a pleasant, thing to see. Nobody wants to go to site. The first day they are moving to site is dusty. There is confusion. And that's the stage we are in now. We are engineering that inner architecture. So there will be a lot of disruption in your mind now. I'm sure a lot of people right now, they are thinking, I hope this guy is not a cultist. This guy's, I get a lot of that. So I'm used to that. I hope he's not an atheist. Because the moment you start talking like this, the next thing Nigerians will say is, he's an atheist. And that's like one of the backlashes of religion. I'm not an atheist. I'm not. Because everybody ties divinity to religion. Divinity, one of my latest videos, does not have a religious label. You can cry about your religion, you can promote it, you can think that it's the best thing since sliced bread. God is not a Christian or a Muslim. Divinity does not carry any religious tag. So those who are producing results, guess what they are doing with their lives? You know what they're doing? They simply align themselves with the laws of nature. And the laws of nature doesn't give a damn about people's doctrines and dogma. Because the laws of nature are the law of the mind, the mental law, the frequency law, the law of gender, right? The hermetic principles that has governed humanity since time immemorial. Laws that existed thousands of years before thou shalt not. So the laws supersede thou shalt not. And these are the laws that the elites live their lives by. And that's why they have put themselves. There are people in your life, they are in some kind of position where you think they don't need you. You think you are the one that needs them. That's why you have to kiss their ass. You have to laugh when the joke is not funny. You have to worship them. They spit on your face. You worship them.
Give an excuse.
You give an excuse. Maybe he was angry that day. Maybe But if it was your own family member that is broke, that just said, what is wrong with you? Uproar, wahala starts. Everything is economy. Everything that you see, that religion is economy. Everything is business. I'm ruffling feathers, right? Listen, one of my very good sisters was telling another member of the community yesterday, and I believe what she said. She said, you people, this family, you people are not holding the family very soon. And I said, you are right. Because you would hardly find people. There are a few people like us, like Dr. Christos, like Professor Chris, who will tell you the truth as it is. Because I am not expecting my next meal from any politician or any religious leader. So when I speak to you, I'm speaking passionately from the bottom of my heart, because I've seen how that the world doesn't want you to be financially stable and wealthy. So to engineer the inner architecture of abundance, what happens? You have to consciously design. That's what you're doing. Number one, you have to consciously design. It's consciousness. What is consciousness? It's your ability to be sensitive to and to interpret events that are taking place within you and outside you. There are many people, they don't know what's happening around them. If the house is on fire, there are people, until they are burnt, they don't know that there is fire. Some people are not even conscious that the level where they are now, it is, if they don't take an action, in the next 2 weeks or 1 month, they will be so down in the valley that even a 2-year-old will laugh at them. They are not aware. Consciousness. My brother gave me my next book. He has given me the title of my next book. Rulers, kings, servants, and slaves. That's what it is. And if you understand this dynamics, you will be angry. Because the first thing you are going to do is you are going to do an assessment of your own life. Am I a ruler? Am I a king? Am I a servant? Or am I a slave? Because there are people who, you think you are a king. I am the, how do they say it again? Royal priesthood. No, you are not. You are not. You are not. It's not about talks. You are not. I'm the this and that. No, you are not. Because there are people who they glorify just because other people are succeeding and they are commanding great results. You now think that you are also doing that. 10 minutes left. Yeah, why not? So you are consciously designing, you are programming, you are aligning your inner world, your beliefs, your emotions, your identity, your energy with the principles that create lasting wealth. That's what you are doing. The world is governed by principles. Listen, God is not a respecter of persons, he's a respecter of principles. So you either obey the principles or you pay the price. There are consequences for disobeying the laws of nature. So it takes us to what? Living intentionally. You are the engineer, you are the architect. You have to engineer the architectural design that would, in next 5 years, you should have a plan. Like, in 2 years, this is where I want to be. It's not about, I will be there. Yes. What is the plan? Where is the plan? So to develop a plan, what happens? You must first discover the sovereignty and the personal autonomy inside you. In Surah chapter 7 of the Quran, it says, I have given you authority on earth, and within it provisions for life. So, authority first. And it says at the end, it says, yet you don't give thanks. I always rephrase that as, yet you are very foolish and stupid. That's the way I say it. Allah is saying to the Muslim, He's saying, I have given you authority on earth and within it provision for life. Yet you don't give thanks, meaning you are just foolish. If you cannot access the provisions for your life, it's because you have not been able to cultivate your authority and your power. Simple. No demon is chasing you. Nobody is winning. You are the one that has refused to cultivate your personal sovereignty. Because the difference between the elite, right, and the masses is the fact that the elite, they understand their personal sovereignty. They function from their personal sovereignty. They can sponsor religion, but they are strategic about it. Yeah, because religious institution is a powerful entity when it comes to society, right? But you are carried away by the things that don't make for the glorious life that you are meant to live. Nobody will tell you what I'm telling you. Everybody will try to massage because they would rather... See, most of the people around you would prefer that you are broke and busted because that's the only way they can use you. If you are not broke, will you come tomorrow? They say, can you come to the house by 9 a.m.? If you are busy with your life, will you go? And listen to me. Finding trustworthy people is very scarce and hard these days. And you are a trustworthy person, but you are a slave to them. So they'd rather keep you in that state than give you information that would empower you to the point where you don't need them. People often ask me, why do you allow people who work with you to also work with other people? I was like, because I want them to be free to the point where they don't need me for anything. So number one, listen to this. Number one, let me mute this, my brother here. Number one, rewriting limiting beliefs about money. Rewriting limiting beliefs about money. There are limiting beliefs you have about money. There are limiting beliefs you have about your self-worth. There are limiting beliefs you have about success. I think there was a meeting where Dr. Christos came to. I don't think it was the last unlock. It was the one before then, where I talked about ancestral algorithm of poverty. We are programmable beings, right? There is an operating system. So there is a reason why you would say, sometimes I try to cut religious leaders a lot of slack. You know why? These guys are actually trying sometimes. It's just that there is an ancestral algorithm that is in your life. That no matter the prayer they pray for you, it can never work. And that's why two people will be praying with Jerry Eze every morning. After 6 months, one will say, I got my miracle. They'll say, I beg you, it is fake. That one that said it's fake, there is something that is chasing that one. Because two people. Because listen to me, I've had my in-law can never stop watching. Even if you tell him Jerry Eze is a demon, he will tell you, let the demon enter inside him. Because magical is but there are people that would attend the same event. They will even sweat more than my in-law. They won't get nothing. Because there is a programming language in them. There's an operating system that is at work in them. Limiting beliefs. They have refused to write. They think just by joining the Eze, they will change everything. You have to be an active participant in the process of your transformation. Adeboye is not a magician. Oyedepo is not your magician. Yeah, but it's the truth. Let's face the facts. Let's cut this guy some slack. You accrue too much to them that they are not even promising you. You are the one that doesn't want to do the necessary work you are meant to do. Because you are looking for a magician that will just do one thing and then boom. And that's why you see, as much as people criticize religion these days, you know what they are doing? They are now moving into spiritism. I've had people since I launched this latest book, can you do this kind of money ritual? I said, my book is an academic work. I'm a spiritual person that puts his essence in an academic work. Go and read the book. I don't do such rituals for people. Because they are looking for people, right, that will perform a magical operation. And they don't have to do anything. And that's why they remain where they are. They don't want to rewrite the limiting beliefs. You must rewrite the algorithm. You must rewrite it. Upgrading your identity, number 2, to match the version of you that naturally attracts and sustains wealth. There is a version of you. You are a multiplanetary being. You are not just like this. You are diverse in nature. You may think that currently the version of you is poor, broke, busted. There is another version of you that is powerful, successful. That version exists in another planet. When you study the whole concept of manifestation, esoteric knowledge and all that, you're not just you right here, right now. You are you here, but you are also you in somewhere else. Why do you think you have dreams and you see some strange people in your dream? Because you are just an avatar in other planets. You are the one who is meant to be in control, because guess what? There is a version of you that has already accomplished everything you are struggling to accomplish now. Listen, when I came back to Nigeria, I've told you this story, I was struggling, I was in a very bad place. And there was a man that was so kind to me, and he allowed me to sleep in his church by the drum set. And people used to tell me that the guy tells them that guy, his spirit is above his condition. Guess what? I was tapping into the version of me
I saw.
that did not exist in the earth realm at that point. There is a version of you because you were born with every version of you. Now, you give birth to a girl. She's 2 years old, right? When she is 18, you start seeing her breasts. Do you think the breast fell on her? The breast has always been there. Yeah. But it took a process. So all of those dimensions and versions of you, they have always existed within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. What is the kingdom? It is a kingdom of expansion. So you must upgrade your identity to match the version of you that naturally attracts and sustains wealth, because that version is here, right here, and is here right now. I think we're going to stop there because of time. There's so much to say, but we'll stop there.
So to ask, and just so we can iron things out, because in a manner as to which a 5 years old will understand, that is all the wealth, first of all, that every man is required of, or that they want, the day they were born, was made available.
Definitely.
Can you buttress that further? Meaning, which means that everything the day a man is born, everything he needs for his assignments came with him.
Everything is in the scriptures, is in your texts, is in the Bible, is in the Quran, is in the Epic of Gilgamesh, is in the Hindu text, is everywhere that you were born. And how do I know that? It's a concept of money gates. Your intangible assets. Money is energy. Dark energy, for that matter. Whatever you have in your bank account is just a receipt of the value of money that your energetic space represents. You are an energy field. I'm an energy field. So if what you have in your bank account is 1 million in the moment, that is the frequency your energetic field is vibrating.
So if they want to change that, they can increase
your frequency, your vibration. So you must do something about your energetic field and your energetic states through your money gates. Now, there are people who tell you, help me, I don't have anything. There is no human being that doesn't have anything. It's a lie. You have something. You have tangible and intangible assets. Every tangible asset came from an intangible asset. From what you see. What you see was created from what you can see.
the known and the unknown.
The known and the unknown. 95% of the earth is dark matter, dark energy. We don't understand it. We only understand. Everything you see is only 5% that we can explain. Of course. Some of you, all you need to do to access wealth is to just increase your proclivity, your tendency and natural, inclination to be a kind person. And that's it. And when you now integrate that kindness in your business, that's the end. But you think it's about, business, social media.
Okay, that leads me to another spectrum of this conversation. You see, is there a template to this thing? What worked for Mr. A regarding increasing his financial thermostat? Allow me to use my choice of word.
No problem.
What worked for Mr. A regarding increasing his financial thermostat? You give us an example now. It could just be to be kind.
Yes.
So is it a template? Is there a template that one can emulate that this is A, B, C to reach to achieving wealth? How can one uniquely discover how they can increase the vibrational frequency, increase their energy towards what they want? Now, everybody listening to this, everyone connected to this, I'm sure that you want to increase your financial frequency.
Absolutely.
Because you've heard, in fact, I love how you spoke in the realm of where it matters the most, which is where we have been crippled the most, and that is the religious mind. We have been crippled the most in that aspect. And I like how you brought it up to people that we are the architect of our own life. So the question is there a template to these things? Do we have templates, or it is unique to every individual?
I'm going to start with this. There is a concept called human design. And one of the easiest ways to understand this is to look at your fingerprints. I can't use Ibro's fingerprint to access, the border, for instance. They are going to know that it's not you. And there are over 8 billion people on earth. And yet your fingerprints are different. Data. Right? You came here with data. You came here with an algorithm. Now, strategies are good. But by intuition, men break free from generational curse and suffering. It is by intuition. Now, there are ideas that are tailor-made to you as a person, based on your human design. You can't teach a fish how to fly. You can't teach a bird how to swim. The motivational speakers, what they are doing is they are trying to teach fishes that they can fly and birds that they can swim. That's not my philosophy. If you are a fish, for you to fulfill your purpose, swim. If you are a bird, to fulfill your purpose, fly. And how do you get to this point? In numerology, I wrote a book on numerology called Transform Your Life with Numbers, which is a tool that you use. You don't worship numbers. You align yourself with energy, because numbers are energy.
The language of the universe.
The language of the universe. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, think energy, think frequency, and think vibration. Science and spirituality. They have separated. Let me tell you the biggest fraud in your lifetime. The separation of science and spirituality. Science is the offspring of spirituality. So when I want to deal with situations in my life, you know what I do? I approach it like a scientist. I approach my issues like a scientist, knowing that I am the spirit that is dealing with the situation. I run permutations, experiment, calculations. I'm an alchemist. I'm a mathematician. I'm dealing with that situation. Because how do you do that? You go deep within yourself, into the realms of your soul. Because you came here with a soul contract, right? How did I meet Dr. Christos? There is a soul contract that I signed. Nothing is by accident. I said, at some point in your life, you are going to meet somebody. And because he is part of your soul contract, you will connect. I've known him for 20 years plus. There are people in your life who, they are part of your soul contract from the beginning to the end. There are people who they are just, 5 years character. They play a role 5 years, they move on. Now, but back to what you're saying. Every data that you need, they are in your soul. it is from the place of intuition that you tap into the tailor-made stratagems. They are not strategies. 2025, we must move from strategies to stratagems. Be wise like a serpent and be gentle like a dove. Those are stratagems. The world is ruled by stratagems, not strategies. You have to be cunning. Now, those stratagems will be given to you from the place of sharpened intuition. You're not trying to compete with anybody or, run anybody's race or use anybody's life as a template for your life. No, the only template is universal consciousness. Understanding that there's an Akashic record, there is cosmic intelligence that exists that we are all an extension of. That's the only template. From that template, then you develop your own architectural design. Through unique, tailor-made. A lot of people tell me what I'm doing. Do it. Can you see somebody once told me that, you see, there is a particular guy, there's a way he dresses. Every time when people see him, there's a particular way they see him. I said, I can't be like that. Sorry. Sometimes I want to wake up in my house in the morning, 6 a.m. with my harmless and make my video. So develop a concept based on who I am. Don't tell me to be like somebody. Those intuitions, those stratagems will come to you in the place of quiet, meditation, stillness. Be still and know that I'm God. What does that mean? Be still and you will know what to do. When you know what to do, the reason people are not moving and taking action is because they don't know what to do. And to know what to do to produce results, it must be from the place of intuition, where you are given, you are offered tailor-made ideas. Call this person. Don't do it like this. Do it like this. Like you and divinity, you are having an interaction, an intercourse, and you are producing results and offsprings from that interaction. So you see, people go to different religious places and they think that 7 steps that the person shared is what they have to apply. No. Those 7 steps are meant to be the triggers that push you into the process of starting something. But your own stratagems are different from the stratagems of that person.
So put that in a way that even a 5-year-old would understand. What he just elucidated is that there are no templates. You have to figure out the uniqueness inside of you. It's innate in you. It's immanent in you. And you can only derive that and get that when you are in stillness and when you put yourself in the position to receive from the cosmic universe. So that is what he's saying. He's saying that to change your frequency and financial thermostat, it is unique as to what you should do. I think from this conversation, I realized what I did now. Some of us, we do things, we get results, but we may not know the formula that was used.
Consciousness.
And yes, it is in perpetual study, conversation, and deep stillness we get to understand, wow, this was it. And you see, when you were talking, you talked about science and spirituality. I want to tell everyone that is what the course of Chris Lee, the faculty, is all about.
Exactly.
You see, we in our faculty, we blend both science and spirituality. We don't see them as 2 contrast things. No, we coax them and intertwine them. We intertwine both faith and facts for the first time.
I'm sorry to interrupt. See, when you told me I'm going to be teaching at Chris Lee, I was like, this is one of the things I'm going to do in my life. You know why? You know why? As a teenager, even as a 21-year-old, I was always telling my friends, it is the marriage of science and spirituality that will save the world.
Exactly.
And people thought I was mad. They fought me. You are a cult member. So when I saw the Chris Lee vision, I said, how are these people able to marry spirituality and science?
Beyond that, you can look at merging
logic and metaphysics.
Neuroscience
and ancient knowledge. And I said, at that first meeting when we had, I said, I'm a member of this family. Because that is what is going to transform your life. It is not the separation. Separation leads to imbalanced consciousness. It is the unity, the law of one. The law of one.
Thank you so much. After this question, there's a question someone asked from the the webinar. After this question, I want us to go into deep neurological assignments and patterns. But here's the question: how can one embrace one's inner child and personal sovereignty? How can one embrace one's inner child and personal sovereignty? That was a question by Felicity Udeji.
Deep question. Now, see, I told you about divine center, right? You have a divine center. Now, one of the things I did was I did an exercise that I've taught all my students. It's called shadow work. Shadow work. I had to do shadow work. Now, until you comprehend your darkness, you will never see your light. There is nothing evil about darkness. In the Bible, God said, I am your God. I am light, but I live in darkness. Darkness is the mother of creation. Everything you see came from darkness. So there is the dark part of you that you must understand. Until you understand that part and you're able to integrate it into your light, you will never become. So shadow work is coming to terms with the part of you that you have swept under the carpet. The part of you don't understand. The part of you that the world has told you is evil. And all you need to do is to just study and explore that part of you, like a scientist performing a surgical operation on that part of them. And then the moment you are able to integrate that so-called darkness into your light, there is results. So what I'm going to suggest to that person for, because of time, is shadow work. Now, you can go to Google and, because sometimes you need to have some kind of guidance and all that. And maybe one of the things I'm going to teach in the Chris Lead, we're going to do, because we're doing mindset magnetism. So I'm going to inculcate the concept of shadow work, because listen to me, there are a lot of people who, you came here with so much greatness, but your parents bastardized and corrupted your greatness through their own incompetent and ignorant parenting. Not that they are bad people, but they can only give you what they know.
Honest limitation.
Honest limitation. Thank you very much. It's honest limitation.
Yes.
And guess what? There are people who maybe when you were a teenager, somebody violated you, and that became a shadow that is affecting how you relate with men or how you relate with women, how you relate with money. You don't trust people again, but you came here with the incorruptible seed of God. So shadow work is a process of fertilizing the incorruptible seed of God that you were born with. And that's the only way you can escape that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Please, let's, we're talking about the mindset for wealth. Now, there was a time in my life many years ago, I realized that I had a Rubicon I could not cross. And I'm going to share this out there. I had a Rubicon I could not cross. I mean, the Rubicon was 200,000. I practically could not cross it. I mean, when I...
Dr. Christos?
Yes.
There was a time in your life you could not cross.
There was a time in my life I had this Rubicon of 200,000. I mean, when I have 150,000 naira in my account, any deal of 100,000 would not work. Unless it's 50,000. The money in my account would never be more than 200,000. Or if I spend it. Now, if I spend it, the same person who has refused to pay 100,000 can pay 200,000 to make sure what is in my account is 200,000. You see, some of the things we experience are beyond just what we can see around. The world is controlled by the known and the unknown, the seen and the unseen. I was practically, you see, I'm someone who pay attention. If there's one thing anybody will tell you about me, I know how to connect the dots in my life a lot. Life is not an accident to me. I connect dots easily. In 3 months, I can tell you. In 3 months, I can tell you this happened like this. This happened like this. This happened like this, and that is why it's like this. I can easily connect it. Financial thermostats, but we don't all know what it is. But we'll say thermostats. They use it in the electrical manufacturing company. Our irons have it. Our electric kettle, they have it. You know, when the iron is going on too hot, there is a thermostat that says you don't cross this level of heat, go back to the beginning. Or is it our kettle, when it gets to a certain height or degree Celsius, the thermostat will knock it off. You don't cross this Rubicon. And many of us, we do have this financial thermostat.
Exactly.
Because we don't pay attention to our financial reading. We're unaware of it.
Ceiling.
So I was so involved in 200,000 that, I'm going to share how I was able to do that. Maybe you can put a meaning to that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can put a word to
Yeah.
that. This was what I did. When I realized and I noticed that I can't cross this Rubicon, I had to pretend. I wanted to be a millionaire. Then I pretended like I was one. I acted like one, walked like one, think like one, even dress like one. I did all these things as a millionaire. And I did it so much that I didn't even know when I left that thermostat. So is there a word you can put to that? Because, we people do say, don't fake it. They say it out of humility. And what we are telling people is that to change your mindset towards words is that you have to intentionally, like you said, enter the frequency. I don't think people enter frequency just by accident. We get tuned into it. We intentionally enter a certain frequency. It's not by accident. The only frequency you can, I don't know why the word is like that, you can go into by accident is when you can reduce your frequency. And there are so many things around us that affect us, social media. You were talking about this generation. The truth is that I always tell people it's so easy to win in this generation because there's so much distraction.
Very easy.
Winning in this generation is too easy. And for people to emulate that stillness has become so difficult because of excesses and investing energy in things that will not add value to them. But that's not the bottom line. The bottom line is I increased my frequency deliberately. I started acting like, you see, we are in Abuja now. When we started in Benin, we told people in Benin that we were already in Abuja before we came.
Wow, fantastic.
We told our current students that we're already in Abuja. We told them, I've taught people around me, we don't say the things we see. We say what we want to see. So even down to our finance, we speak in the frequency of what we want. We speak in the level of who we want to become. And I think that is what we are talking about, faith and facts. Because I think it's there in the Christian book and in the Quran. It's evidence there. That is the evidence of things not seen. Evidence in English language is what you can see. But you are saying evidence of not seen. That is taking yourself to a frequency that you are not yet, but you are there. So that is one of the strategies that that's something that I did then. And it has always worked. You see, I say it so much that automatic, I don't even know when it happens. It just happens. I'm just there. And I always increase my frequency. People who know me, they know this about me. If you see me today, in the next 6 months, I'm not the guy you saw 6 months ago. There's always growth.
Fantastic, man.
There is always growth. You can Google me, ask people who have known me for long. There is always growth. Or you can mark my word right now in December, come check me out. You will see a tremendous change. And that is because I always increase my frequency. How did I do it? Which is what we're sharing with you right now. Increase your frequency by taking yourself into a new level. I think in your meeting, I brought out the etymology of the word pretend.
Yeah.
And it was exposed that pretend is from the etymology pre and tenderer. Pre simply means before. The word tenderer means to grasp or to claim, which means before.
Tender loving kindness.
Before you grasp, be there already. So what do you have to say on this? Because I think this is another integral part of increasing frequency.
Pretending is becoming. Now, because a lot of, like some of the words that we use, they were not that popular until now. Because people just want to teach people the basic things and the surface knowledge to get them sensationalized and tantalized. So if there is something you are meant to study about words, it is etymology.
Study of words.
The foundational meaning of every word. What does it mean at the foundational level? Now, you were not just pretending, you were becoming. Because you must become the frequency of your desire.
You must become.
In the present moment.
Please, can you say that again? I want people to get it.
You must become the frequency of your desire in the present moment. When you are able to do that, you know what happens? You are going into the future. You are teleporting into the future.
And extracting it.
And extracting the excitement, the feelings of your expectation and bringing into the present moment. That's what you are doing. So you are not pretending is not fake, except it is by ignorance.
Yes.
If it is purposeful, intentional, what you are actually doing is you are becoming the frequency. And guess what happens? The moment frequency appears, there's no more force.
There's no force. Exactly.
It's a paradigm shift. There's no more force. You know, our programs, the other day, I was teaching and somebody was saying they want to sign up to our VIP. And I said the VIP is over for the year. And the VIP is 500 and what? 83,000 naira. And we have about 50 people there, right? And I said, I don't want to do VIP. I don't want to sign any new person to it. And somebody said, why would you reject 583,000 naira? That's money. And I said, if I need 583,000 naira tomorrow, I will vibrate the frequency right here, right now, and the money will come. But I don't want to stress myself over more than 40-something VIP members. The moment frequency sets in, the moment, see, this is the difference. You see all these guys that use transistor radios. When they are not tuned in, they start hitting the transistor radio. That's force.
Yes.
But when they are rightly positioned, just tune. That's it. You must ensure that you are rightly. Dr. Christos he had to position himself to vibrate the frequency of what he desires. There is a psychological aspect of this, which is also science, which is also spirituality. Winning in the 21st century is the easiest thing to do, even in Nigeria.
It is. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. There's one more question here. In all these things, you see, we are currently enrolling. Admission is open for individuals who want to derive more knowledge. The truth is, knowledge is a currency. It's a currency. It's a currency. The difference between the doctor and the patient is what the doctor knows that the patient is oblivious towards. At Chris Lead, we decipher uncommon knowledge, the things you can't find out there. So admission is currently open. You can enroll with the number is going to be placed on the screen, or it's going to be typed there. You can reach out just in case you want to enroll. So one asked the question I want us to talk about is, you see, this webinar is something we do every month.
Fantastic.
It's something we want to do every month worldwide. Because we have to change the mindset, the philosophy, the culture. There's a lady who asked a question, and I think if we answer this question thoroughly, it will answer the question of a lot of people. I'm going to read the question, I will talk about it, then you will work on it as well. The question is, how do I rewrite my limiting belief? The person who asks this is Augustine Gifts. Ladies are the only ones asking questions. Okay, you say, how do I rewrite my limiting beliefs? Okay, there's a topic we have in our faculty. It's called glass ceilings. Glass ceilings. You know, if there's a glass ceiling here, it's an unseen barrier. Meaning there's a barrier there that you cannot see because you can see through because it's glass. There's something called glass ceiling, an invisible barrier. It's there, but you don't know. And we all as individuals, we do have that glass ceiling at one point or the other. So glass ceiling, when we use the word glass, this is a glass now. If we put the glass up here, it becomes a barrier, but we don't know there's a barrier because we can see through. So glass ceilings are metaphors for limiting beliefs, like she has said. And some of the factors that create this belief, it's environment. We have something in our faculty called the 4 E's. These are the 4 E's that make any man. It's called environment, education, experience, and exposure. These are the 4 E's that create the belief of an individual. I don't know if I've shared this with you about the new neurological research about environment. Now, let me share it here. There's a term called epigenetics.
Yeah.
Epigenetics, we know our environment plays a crucial role with us. We know our environment can condition us, can write everything, can whisper to us, condition us, program us. But there is a deep concept called epigenetics, which explains that our environment don't just program us, it rewrites our genetic code.
Exactly.
Now, as crazy as that is, let me put it in a way that a 5 years old will understand. That is, if your father was born in an environment where he became harsh, maybe everybody had to shout, that can be so immanent in him that it rewrites his genetic code. That even when you're not being born in that location, a new location entirely, and your father doesn't shout anymore, or I'm just using it as an instance, you that will be born today, because of that thing you got from that environment, it can rewrite and it's
epigenetics.
Crazy. Yes, epigenetics. So it's your environment can affect the friends, the people you follow. You see, the universe is like an algorithm. Just like when you pick up your phone, the things you see on your Instagram reels are the things you have a high proclivity to watch. The things you see on your TikTok and your YouTube watch are things you have spent time. So attention is what you attract. You want to pay attention to
where energy goes. Where
energy goes, power follows. So how can you come out of limiting beliefs? I think there are some steps individuals have to take. I will leave other aspects to you, but let me share the step to them, which involves, first of all, changing environment. If your environment is impeding your belief, because your environment is constant. If your environment is the opposite of what you want, then you are not in the right environment. If your friends are not looking like the future, you see, if your peers around you are not looking like where you are headed, then you are with the wrong people. Another thing that can affect, do we still have time? There are so many questions.
Yeah, of course. If they are ready, I'm ready. This is what I'm born for.
So you have to change you have to work on your environment. Make sure that you are around and not among. Try as much as possible to change your environment, because environment has a serious crucial part that can affect who you become. You see, I don't know, but in the Christian book, in the Quran, they were men that the Creator told, leave your father's house, leave your location, leave where you are. These are people that they were labeled with blessings, like you are a father of many nations, you are these. These are people with astronomical and enormous blessings, but they had to leave a certain location. Environment is so crucial, sir, that I don't know. I think I saw a place like that in the Christian book, that the only place that he could not perform miracle was his hometown, Nazareth or something,
because they know him.
Because they knew him. So environment is so crucial. In all of these things we are saying, environment is an integral part. You can say all you want, you can act all you want, but one way to change your belief. Do you know that some things people struggle for? When they travel out, when their eyes get to see exposure, when they see exposure, their mind will see possibility and it becomes possible. So these are the things that will help you. So if you understand the 4 E's, I will repeat them again. The 4 E's are the things that create limiting beliefs. I will say it again so you can write down at your earliest convenience, research and understand what are these parts of you. Number 1 is your education. The child your child in the same school, watch this. The child, if your 5 years old is in the same school, and during vacation, his friends are saying, hey, during the holiday, my dad took me to Dubai. From Dubai, we went to Paris. From Paris, we stopped by Spain, and then we realized that the holiday was over. We came back to Nigeria. Do you think that based on the philosophy of that child, growing up, do you think visa will be a limitation, a limiting belief to that child? Do you think that child will begin to start fasting and praying for visa? This is as a result of the 4 E's, environment. I always give this example. Let's say a certain day Elon Musk will decide to say, oh, let's have a board meeting, all my executive board members in his house, and his 5 years old is there. And then they are saying that, let's make this year's annual results be $200 billion. The child is just playing around at age 5. He's hearing his father say $200
Like
billion.
he's doing to the boy now.
He's just playing around. And then he say, no, Elon, we can do better. Let's make it 250 billion. So that in the calculation, how much are we going to be getting a day? Let's see how we can get $900 million every day. And then would you believe that in the immaculate material of that child, when you tell that child it's possible to make 1 million every day, something in his belief will tell him that it's possible.
Genetic code.
So if I tell every one of you here listening that you can make $1 million every day, what will speak to you that is not possible are your limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And these limiting beliefs are your 4 E's. Your environment, your experience, your exposure, and your education. These are the battlefield of the mind that one has to overshadow and fight to cut limiting beliefs. I think let's make this the last question.
Yes, that's powerful, because I was almost talking about epigenetics when you mentioned it.
Oh,
because I had to use that philosophy to also create more or less like a disruption in my life. Because when I was studying abroad, whenever we spoke on the phone years ago, he would tell me, "Why are you sounding so calm?" I'm sounding so calm. He was like, "Yeah, your voice has become so calm." Guess what I discovered? Because outside Nigeria, the network is so good, you don't have to shout on the phone.
environment.
I am back to Nigeria,
And
I'm back to shouting. So there are people, I'll tell you the truth, you have to leave your environment. For you to fulfill your mandate in life, you have to leave. You would see that 98% of great people, they had to leave where they were. One of the ways to actually create more or less like a disruption in the ancestral algorithm is to change your location. Because the moment you change your location, something changes in you. Environment begins from within. Is environment before environment. It is internal before it is external. So if you want to change what you have been corrupted by virtue of your environment, go within yourself. Leave what you are used to, move to a new place, hang around, I never, like you see what Elon Musk is doing to his son. He takes him to the White House.
Yes.
It's very strategic. He is preparing that boy as the heir apparent. So from that age, the formative year.
Yes.
Now I always tell a lot of parents that I have opportunity to talk to. Never, even if you can't pay your child's school fees, lie to your child. Don't ever let your child know that the reason why they are at home is because you can't pay their school fees. That's an everlasting trauma.
Exactly.
It would activate a code in their genetics that would, because your DNA is different from your genetic code. Your genetic codes are part of your DNA.
Yes.
Right? So it is the codes that a lot of people are functioning by. And because while they were growing up, they heard how daddy said no money, no food, no this, no that.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
Money doesn't grow on trees. So ensure as a parent that you allow your children to only be exposed to abundance. It doesn't mean they won't face challenges in life, but they will face challenges with the mindset of abundance. And that's how to overcome those challenges.
Beautiful. Thank you. So that will be the end of today's webinar on the mindset for wealth. Like I said at the beginning, that knowledge is not in the acquisition, but in the application. Change your philosophy of wealth. Change everything you think you know. Change everything you think you know. Sadly, our third guest, Dr. Ogochukwu, is currently in South Africa, so he couldn't join us.
Yeah.
But he has promised that in the next webinar, he's going to be with us to talk immensely
Fantastic.
on this matter. Dr. Ogo is currently in South Africa right now, but he's going to be with us in the next webinar. Now, listen, guys, you have to be intentional about yourself. You have to apply everything that has been said here tonight. Thank you so much. I hope you had a lovely time. And if you have further questions, we can do it this way. If you have further questions, you could drop it by any means you deem fit. Once we see your questions, we'll personally attend to it.
And let me quickly say this. And if you are following me, I always tell people I'm not cut out for street protests. If you want to invite me to mental protests. So I don't care, because Because revolting with ignorant people would lead to nothing. So my mission, and I don't have to use anybody's strategy to fight my own battles. I want to fight with the tool of knowledge. So if you are following me and you are yet to register for the Chris Lead University Faculty of Mind Engineering program, you are, the band will say you are sitting on a long thing. And I hear you said there's a scholarship. I have about 200,000 people on TikTok. I'm going to be teaching during this program. If you want to see the academic side of me, not all those TikTok this thing that you are seeing, you want to see another side of me, register for this program. And in 3 to 6 to 9 months, you're going to transform your life. I can assure you that.
Thank you so much. So registration is currently ongoing in our Abuja campus. We're starting already next week, Saturday. In Benin City campus, it's starting Mountain. And our online, we have an online platform where people can study from anywhere they are in the world. From UK, Europe, anywhere they are in the world, they can study. Thank you, guys. See you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chris.
I want you to finish there.
Thank you.